I'm going to go along with my speech as planned. It is my honor to introduce our salutatorian of 2009, Sarah Cannon. Many of you know Sarah as your drum major for Lake Brantley's Marching Patriots. Others know her from class or as the National Honor Society treasurer. However, it's Sarah's unsung actions that make her a truly remarkable human being. To get to where she is now, Sarah obviously excelled academically throughout high school, never getting anything less than an A, and going the extra mile in activities like science fair. But what is truly unique about her is that she's impossible to dislike. I asked some of her friends for their input in this speech. They all told me the same thing. She's the best person to have as your friend. Her humor, easygoing manner, and general kindness is admired by everyone she meets. With Sarah, it's not uncommon to casually fall into a conversation about religion or the origins of life and walk away inspired and enlightened. As I myself have found, Sarah is incredibly down to earth. She's a self-described devout Catholic and an avid flautist. I've been told she's the Bruce Springsteen of flautists. She will randomly sing out loud for friends, make a crazy face for pictures, or ask that occasional common sense question. These things make her friends and family love her all the more. Her hard work has earned her a spot at Vanderbilt University this fall with a full scholarship. In the future, Sarah plans to study biomedical engineering and neuroscience and also stay active as a musician. As you will see for yourself in a few moments, Sarah has a contagious smile and a thirst for life. Please join me in welcoming Sarah Cannon.
To my fellow members of the class of 2009, congratulations. We have finally reached the day we have been waiting for these past 4 years, our graduation. Throughout senior year, we have noted many last. The last homecoming, the last football game, the last senior lunch, the last spirit day. I would like to take this moment and ask all of you to think back to your freshman year and reminisce about some of our first. There's the first time we were inspired by Coach Smith over the morning announcements, the first time we dodged a golf cart running at full speed, and the first FCAT video we all thought was silly, but still remember years later. In these 4 years, we also stood witness to some very personal firsts. Maybe it was a first love, a broken heart, a breakthrough success, or the death of a loved one. Whether we realize it or not, our experiences have shaped us into the people we are today. And although in some ways it's all we've ever known, 20, 10, even 4 years from now, we will not be remembered for who we were in high school. After we walk across the stage and finally receive that diploma, one of the most monumental opportunities in our lives awaits us, the chance to start all over. I'm not trying to say that any of us needs to make over our lives. Rather, I am thrilled by this occasion to make an impression on the world free from past stereotypes and judgments. And so, Lake Brantley, I encourage every one of you to seize this opportunity to become the person you truly want to be. Before embarking on this task of becoming ourselves, I have some advice to keep in mind. First, despite whatever claims Red Bull, coffee, or energy shots can make, there is no true substitute for a good night's sleep. I have found that my general level of happiness usually corresponds perfectly with the amount of sleep I clocked in the past week. Second, monitor that Facebook. In these times, you never know who might be watching. Third, no matter what you pursue after high school, time management will be key. I encourage all of you to work hard, play hard, and realize that both are necessary for a happy and successful life. Last, and the most important in my opinion, take charge of your attitude. There will be many events in life that you will not be able to control, but the one thing you can always control is your reaction to these events. As cheesy as it may sound, a positive attitude can work wonders for one's life experience. I once heard a motivational speaker discuss how we can view our obligations and actions in life from 3 different perspectives: something we have to do, something we want to do, and something we get to do. The more we think in the third manner, the happier we can become even during the ordinary moments. The class of 2009 has done great things at Lake Brantley and will continue to do so as we step out into the world. Once again, recognize this time as a fresh start, a chance to reinvent yourself or simply to grow as an individual. At times, it may seem that nobody remains in this world who still believes in integrity, honesty, or whatever morals you hold dear. It's times like these you must become your own hero. Today, however, is a time for celebration because we are the class of 2009 and we have made it.
Ladies and gentlemen, to introduce our second honor student speaker, here is Alexander Wardell.
Thank you. I wanted to use this speech to get my start in stand-up speaking. Joke. R.A. Seff, a fine man, has been my classmate for 7 years, but we shared our first and memorable encounter 2 years ago when we, newly juniors, happened upon each other at our first debate meeting. I had met his mother in line while registering for classes, and the long wait spurred a lovely conversation between his mother and me. Now, months later, at the meeting, beholding Ari, her son, I unthinkingly asserted, "Ari Seff, your mother is a delight." Without missing a beat, Ari Seff responded, "Your mother is yet more of a delight." And we thus became fast friends. Ari Seff is awesome. He debates and speaks with flair and professional ease. At debate tournaments, it was common for Ari to win his rounds by wide margins, then shock us all with the same uncanny guitar playing skill as many of you saw at senior breakfast. And then brush all that aside and laugh and tell crass but hysterical jokes, none of which, I fear, I can relate. I have had the great fortune of sharing a similar class schedule with Ari for the past 2 years, and I've come to see Ari as a multifaceted man. He combines a fine mind with a finely tuned sense of humor. Whereas he applied himself to the most rigorous classes, they consisted of many silences, broken by my laughter in response to Ari's pointed jokes. He has been adorned with many awards in these years, not the least of which was that he was one of 2 National Merit Scholars at Lake Brantley. And in the least conceited manner possible, I also note that this handsome devil right here was the other National Merit Scholar. I'll be accepting phone numbers from attractive women after the ceremony. But those who came to know Ari Seff came to love Ari Seff. And ladies and gentlemen, there is no one else I would rather introduce. And I now see the stage to the man of the hour, close friend and valedictorian, Ari Seff.
You know, I've been to a lot of Magic games. I've never seen myself on the screen before. It's a nice change. Now, since I'd be speaking to all the seniors at our graduation ceremony, I wanted the topic for my speech to relate to the entire class. I decided I could not get more relevant than making observations about our class as a whole. For instance, a couple weeks ago, we all attended senior breakfast where we were entertained by a number of performances. Well, after the first band, Elixir, finished playing each song, the crowd went wild, cheering and applauding loudly. My observation that day was that this class has excellent judgment. And I'm not just saying that because I was a guitarist in that band, honestly. Well, Early in the year one day, during second period, the morning show came on as usual, and they brought on somebody who could not have been more comfortable being on the news. I'm talking, of course, as Sarah Cannon mentioned also, Coach Smith. Boy, did he get us pumped up for those games. Everyone in the room was cheering, and it was impossible to understand what he was saying, because everyone was cheering, but I formed another observation. We have a highly spirited class. And this year, as usual, the Veterans Day Assembly was held at Lake Brantley. Now, our class has consistently given back to the community over our years at Brantley, through clubs like Beta and NHS. And our presence and concern at this ceremony reminded me of the compassionate nature of this class. Now, I have to admit, members of this class did begin to laugh when ROTC officers, a few of them, began to faint on the field, but I don't think they were being malicious. My observation that day was that this class just also has a good sense of humor. And that afternoon after the ceremony, I left school feeling good about how concerned we are as a class. But by contrast, as I was maneuvering around the Lake Brantley parking lot, trying to get fellow students to let me in the lane, I learned, on the other hand, our class can also be a little aggressive. I have to say, I have honestly feared for my life at times when simply trying to pull out of a parking space in that lot. Don't worry, the great security guards are always there to ensure our safety. But another trait I witnessed in the parking lot was very, very strong motivation. Now, whether the students' motivation was simply to leave school quickly or the result of a deep, burning desire to go get started on homework, I'm not sure. I think we can guess them. And today, right now, as I observe all of us graduating high school, receiving our diplomas, I am aware that we are also a successful class. A class whose members use all of these traits: enthusiasm, compassion, great sense of humor, motivation, and good judgment to get the job done. Class of 2009, we have everything we need. If we continue to take full advantage of these positive characteristics, I guarantee we can never fail. Congratulations on this most honorable of achievements. There are many more to come. The possibilities that await each and every one of us are endless. Thank you, and congratulations.
Ladies and gentlemen, to introduce our principal, Mrs. Mary Williams, here is Denise Faradove.
Ladies and gentlemen, parents, faculty, and staff, I would like to welcome you to Lake Brantley's class of 2009 graduation ceremony. A couple of weeks ago, we had our top 10 meeting to divide the speech topics, and I was given the task of introducing our principal, Mrs. Mary Williams. Now, what's an appropriate way to introduce the leader of Lake Brantley? Do I introduce her like you see reporters introducing the president, or like you see movie stars being introduced? But then I thought to myself, introduce her? We all know her. She's not a guest speaker or some unknown face always sitting in an office. Rather, she's the heartbeat behind our school. Her personality is a force to be reckoned with. As I spoke with her one morning, she instantly drew me into her busy world, and she radiates a blend of charisma and authority as she described to me a typical workday for her involving countless appointments and meetings. But no matter how booked she is, she always makes time for students or parents that needed her guidance, and she manages to stay fully connected to the staff and students. A situation in the parking lot or working alongside the leadership class, there is not a single thing that happens during the day that she doesn't become involved in. Furthermore, we've all seen her drop by during our classes the past couple of years. She's always smiling, always polite, and always complimenting everyone. Mrs. Williams is not only full of energy, but she's done so much for the school. Her accomplishments include renovations to the field, gym, auditorium, and the general well-being of Lake Brantley. Not only that, but for every new school year, she holds a big welcome back breakfast for the staff and an end of the year lunch from Havana Grill. She personally recognizes every single staff birthday, which is a lot of birthdays with a card, and all the staff accomplishments. Her personality is inspiring. Her skills and achievements, numerous. This powerhouse lady has kept Lake Brantley running as smooth as butter, and I am truly honored, truly privileged to stand before you today and present to you the one, Lake Brantley's true chief patriot, Mrs. Mary Williams.
Thank you. Okay, you guys can exit the stage. Thank you so much. Thank you, Denise, for the enthusiastic introduction. I am humbled by your sentiments. On behalf of the faculty and staff of Lake Brantley High School, thank you all for joining us for the graduation celebration for the class of 2009. I would also like to extend warm greetings to our special guests, Superintendent Dr. Bill Vogel, School Board Member Mrs. Dee Dee Schaffner, and Executive Director of Secondary Education, my boss, Mr. Walt Griffin. Thank you all for your leadership and support. In true patriot pride, we must also acknowledge those who are either serving or who have served in the armed forces, whose mission it is to protect and preserve the American way of life. We owe you our respect and our gratitude. As Americans, even in these turbulent times, we truly do have a lot to be thankful for. As a mother of a second lieutenant in the United States Army who is soon to be deployed to Iraq, I cannot be more genuine or sincere in my deepest appreciation of these brave men and women. Godspeed to all of you, and thank you. Seniors, the people gathered here today represent your support system that helped you to reach this milestone in your lives. Class of 2009, your parents, family members, friends, and teachers who have joined us here today have played an enormous role in shaping the adults you are becoming. Please join me in applauding them. As we end the school year, it is both with sadness and best wishes that we bid farewell to some very special people. These individuals have reached a long-awaited for moment in their lives, retirement. I would like to acknowledge each of these wonderful people and thank them for their valuable contribution to the education of thousands of students who have walked through the halls of Lake Brantley High School. I'd like to begin by paying tribute to Mrs. Eva Scott. Although Mrs. Scott has been a business teacher at Lake Brantley for only 1 year, she has taught in Seminole County for 32 years. Mrs. Scott is described by her colleagues as a kind, caring person who sees a success story in every student. It's been a pleasure working with you, Mrs. Scott, and we wish you all the best. Our next honoree is Mrs. Barbara Weber. Mrs. Weber has served as a math teacher at Lake Brantley since 1979, teaching primarily geometry and pre-calculus, and doing so with creativity and artistry. She is truly a left and right-brained educator. Her students are ready for success at the next level. Thank you, Mrs. Weber, and enjoy the travel in your years ahead. Next is a teacher who has served a remarkable 33 years in our Exceptional Student Education Department, Mr. Rennie Beatrice. Mr. Beatrice has worked primarily with our emotionally and behaviorally challenged students. He is patient, understanding, and has a heart of gold. He has devoted his career to helping our students overcome their challenges and find their paths to successful adulthood. Thank you, Mr. Beatrice, for your many years of dedicated service, and bless the pathway you will now follow. It is now time to dedicate our sincere appreciation to two of our teachers who hail from the physical education department. First, Mr. David Tullis. Oh, that is a well-earned applause. Mr. Tullis has enjoyed a spectacular career devoted to the Altamont Springs community. In his 33 years at Lake Brantley, he has served as PE teacher, PE department chair, head varsity football coach, and head boys weightlifting coach. One of my favorite memories from high school was when I was in one of Coach Tullis's PE class with two of my sisters. Roll call went something like this: young, here, young, here, young, here. We got a kick out of it every single day. Mr. Tullis is a genuine and well-liked teacher and colleague, and you will be sorely missed. Last but certainly not least, also from the PE department, is Coach Gary Smith. Great shot. Coach Smith is well known for his jovial, outgoing, and gregarious personality. He too has worked with varsity football, specifically the defensive line, for 31 years. In the past couple of years, as you've heard a couple times today, Coach Smith has also found he enjoys being in the spotlight on the student-produced morning show. Every Friday during the morning football season, Smitty was invited to come on the show and pump up the student body with his exhilarating speeches. Rumor has it that he might even show up again next year for a couple of guest appearances. Seniors, we practice this. Seniors, since you won't be around for that, I think it only fitting that you send off Coach Smith with one of his favorite sayings. On three, 1, 2, 3. That was perfect. That was attababy, everybody. All right, that's his favorite. Happy trails to each of these fine teachers and colleagues. Graduates, let's show all of your teachers your appreciation. Oh, and one more accolade. I think we should, since we are in the home of the Magic, I think we ought to cheer on our favorite hometown team. Thank you. And now, seniors, it's time to celebrate you, the graduating class of 2009. Looking back, we have accomplished so much this year and have had a lot of fun doing so. You, the class of 2009, are academic scholars, athletic champions, and accomplished artists. The world awaits all you have to offer. But even with brains, skills, and natural talent, our lives are not truly fulfilled until we have embraced the beauty of service to others. John F. Kennedy once said, "Ask not what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country." Class of 2009, you exemplify the very spirit of these immortal words. You've made many contributions this year. It was also very inspiring to have your parents get involved when you all pulled together to save a few of our own students who in their time of need, needed your help. You've won prestigious awards, raised huge sums of money, and logged countless community service hours. We commend you for your outstanding efforts to improve the lives of others. However, service to others is more than just something you put on your resume. It also includes the way we treat other people, our day-to-day interactions. It's the words we choose and how we choose to say them. It's becoming involved when someone is being wronged. It's doing the right thing even though we do not personally gain for it or are recognized for it. Seniors, as your final high school assignment, I want you to listen carefully to this beautiful true story I recently read. As you listen, I want you to think about the words and actions of the pastor and how they affected the outcome of this incredible story. The story is called The Tablecloth. A new pastor and his wife, assigned to reopen a church in Brooklyn, arrived in October excited about their opportunities. When they saw their church, it was very run down and it needed a lot of work. They set a goal to have their first service on Christmas Eve. They worked hard repairing pews, plastering walls, and painting, and on December 18th, they were ahead of schedule. The next day, a driving rainstorm hit the area, and it lasted for 2 days. On December 21st, the pastor went over to the church. His heart sank when he saw that the roof had leaked, causing a large area of plaster to fall off the front wall of the sanctuary behind the pulpit. The pastor cleaned up the mess on the floor. Not knowing what else to do but postpone the Christmas Eve service, he headed home. On the way home, he noticed a flea market sale, so he stopped. One of the items was a beautiful crocheted tablecloth with a cross embroidered right in the center. It was just the right size to cover up the hole in the wall. He purchased it and went back to the church. By this time, the temperature had dropped and it started to snow. An old woman running from the opposite direction was trying to catch the bus. She missed it. The pastor invited her to wait in the church for the next bus. She sat in a pew and paid no attention to the pastor as he hung the tablecloth as a wall tapestry. The pastor could hardly believe how beautiful it looked, and it covered up the entire problem. Then, all of a sudden, the pastor noticed the old woman walking down the aisle. Her face was as white as a sheet. She asked, "Where did you get that tablecloth?" The pastor explained. She then said, "Check the lower right corner to see if the initials EBG were crocheted there." They were. These were the initials of the woman, and she told the pastor she had made the tablecloth 35 years before. She then told him that before the war, she and her husband lived in Austria. When war broke out, she was forced to leave. Her husband was going to follow her the next week. He was captured, sent to prison, and she never saw her home or her husband again. The pastor wanted to give her the tablecloth, but she made the pastor keep it for his church. The pastor drove her home. It was the least he could do. What a wonderful service they had on Christmas Eve. The church was full, the music was lively, and spirits were high. At the end of the service, the pastor and his wife greeted everyone at the door, and many said they would return. One old man remained seated in a pew and stared ahead as if in a trance. The pastor wondered why he wasn't leaving. The man asked the pastor where he got the tablecloth on the front wall, because it was identical to one that his wife had made years ago when they lived in Austria before the war. How could there be two tablecloths that looked so much alike? He then told the pastor how he forced his wife to flee for her safety and how he was supposed to follow her, but was arrested and put in prison. He never saw his wife or home again. The pastor asked him, "Would you allow me to take you for a little ride?" They drove to the same house where the pastor had taken the old woman 3 days earlier, and the pastor then witnessed the greatest Christmas reunion he had ever seen. In our daily life, we make many small decisions, much like the pastor did. What if he had gotten to the church and decided it was too run down to deal with? What if he gave up when he saw the mess that the storm had created? What if he ignored the lady who missed the bus or didn't take her home? There are many examples in this story where this man's compassion for others caused nothing short of a miracle. His actions made a resounding difference in this world. Seniors, from this day forward, what can you do to make a difference? As you venture into a world of economic uncertainty, seizing and not squandering every opportunity afforded to you is now more important than ever. Your happiness in this world will depend on successfully completing your personal goals, combined with the intrinsic satisfaction of doing good for other people. Graduates, we are proud of you. We wish you the best, and we have every confidence that you will find success and happiness. Congratulations, class of 2009. Thank you. At this time, I would like to invite Dr. Vogel, Mrs. Shafter, and Mr. Griffin on stage. Dr. Vogel, by virtue of the recommendation of the faculty, staff, and administration of Lake Brantley High School, it is my honor to present to you the members of the class of 2009, each and everyone here assembled, to be accorded the privilege of your conferring upon them the rites of graduation from Lake Brantley High School this 5th day of June, 2009.
By virtue of the authority vested in me as Superintendent of Seminole County Public Schools, I declare you graduates of Lake Brantley High School and confer upon you the rights, privileges, and duties contained therein. And now it is my pleasure to introduce School Board Chairman, Mrs. Dee Dee Schaffner, to authorize your diplomas. Mrs. Schaffner.
Thank you. On behalf of the School Board of Seminole County, Florida, and with every good wish, it is my great pleasure to authorize that diplomas be issued to the 2009 graduates of Lake Brantley High School. Congratulations.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we direct your attention to the large screens for a special message from several of our senior student leaders.
This is the true story
of 700 students zoned to go to school together for 4 years,
to have their lives changed,
to see what happens
when students grow up and start being real.
The real world, Lake Brantley.
Oh, hey, didn't see you there. I'm Alvin Kaminsky, the Student Council President. I'm going to University of Florida.
Hey, my name is Graham Cook. I'm the Student Body Vice President, and I'm going to FSU.
Hi, I'm Megan Jennings. I'm the Student Body Treasurer. I'm going to UF. Go Gators! Hey guys, I'm Madison Corbridge. I'm Student Body Secretary, and I'm going to University of Florida.
Hi, I'm Devin Kiesel, and I'm going to Florida State.
Hi, I'm Callie Chenoweth, and I'm going to University of North Florida.
Hi, I'm Matt Verwagen. I'm going to the University of Albany.
And we're the class reps.
Hey, I'm Wayne Kaniza, your senior class secretary, and I'm going to Louisiana State University.
Hi, I'm Alyssa Smith, your senior class treasurer, and I'm going to Louisiana State University.
Hi, I'm Morgan Jay. I'm your senior class vice president, and I'm going to the University of Florida.
My name is Valerie Menarche. I'm the senior class president, and I'm going to American University next year.
Graduation's making me think of my first day at college. I hope it won't be like my first day of high school. Don't worry, it can't get much worse than that.
I remember those crazy Saturday nights with my friends.
So should this is how you do it?
Yes. Hey. Try not to be too crazy after high school.
I never would have felt so safe if it wasn't for Brantley's amazing security.
Bennett, can I ride? Oh my God, she's skipping school.
You there! I'm coming in! Stop! Hey, get back in school! Where are you going? I'm coming for you, missing!
Yeah.
My favorite memory of high school is when we won the Boone game and went to the 6A state finals.
Fans and players rushing the field. What a moment for Lake Brantley's football program. 13-1. Brantley waded through 6A Region 1, a come-from-behind win at Edgewater, the team that had ended its season for 2 straight years.
I guess we can say the Patriots are pretty much amazing at everything.
I'll always remember those rigorous powder puff practices and how our dedication and teamwork really paid off. We might not have won the game, but at least we made a record amount of money off of it.
I remember when those creepy, colorful creatures showed up at the pep rally.
I guess they were kind of funny.
I remember how beautiful the days were for senior lunch. Well, at least we had enough pizza.
I'll always remember when those 2 celebrities came to senior breakfast.
What you gonna do with all that